How can you make an argument about something that's not certain? Do you just have to say, I just don't know, and leave it at that? Or can you reach useful conclusions, even if you're not sure about them? Let's explore reasoning about uncertainty to find out. Certainty is not the same thing as truth. Something can be true or false, even if nobody could ever be certain about it, or even know it at all. For example, we know that the statement, "It rained in London on this day 500 years ago," must either be true or false, but we can't now know which it is. It's also possible to be certain of something that's not true. In that case, you'd just be wrong. But we've all done that at some time in our lives. But remember, in our video about argument, we learned that an argument is only valid if all the premises being true means that the conclusion can't be false. Go and check that out if you haven't seen it yet. How does that work if we're uncertain of so much? The answer is probability. You're not limited to saying just X is true or it's going to rain tomorrow. You can also say X is probably true or there's a 40% chance of rain tomorrow. You can make a statement about truth and certainty at the same time. How do we tell if a statement like that is true? Let's take an example. If it rains 40% of the time, that a weather forecaster says there's a 40% chance of rain, then the statements were true. It gets more complex if we've only got one statement to work with, but the basic idea is the same. We can use our understanding of probability to make valid arguments about uncertain things. For example, premise 1, 60% of the time that there is a cold front coming in from the west in December in Paris, it will rain. Premise 2, it is December. Yay, Christmas! Premise 3, there is a cold front coming in from the west towards Paris. Premise 4, we don't know anything else. Conclusion, there's a 60% chance of rain in Paris. Why did we have to add that fourth premise, that we don't know anything else, to make the argument valid? That's because when you're dealing with uncertainty, adding more relevant information can always change the probability of something. For example, maybe 60% of the time that there's a cold front coming in from the west, in December in Paris it rains, and 1% of the time it snows. Maybe it rains whenever the temperature is above freezing and snows whenever the temperature is below freezing. If we know that the temperature is below freezing, then we know that it's likely to snow rather than rain. The extra information makes the conclusion about the probability of rain invalid. That's why we have to say that we don't know anything else to make the conclusion valid. This is a really important idea in probability. If you want to dive more deeply into the theories and equations of this, look up Bayes' theorem and prior probability to find out more. There are lots of videos out there explaining this in more detail. But back to argument. What if we have an argument where if all the premises are true, the conclusion is very likely to be true, but we can't be completely certain? Strictly, the argument isn't valid unless the conclusion is X is probably true, rather than just X is true. But because most things are uncertain, a lot of people will just say X is true, even if they really mean X is probably true. Philosophers sometimes call this an inductive argument. So in conclusion, truth is binary, but certainty is a spectrum. That matters when making decisions, as we'll learn in the next video in this series. If you liked this video, check out our other videos on critical thinking and liberal values, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this one.